Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. It's Taylor Swift Day in Cincinnati. Here's video of crews getting ready at Paycor Stadium for shows tonight and tomorrow.
Oh, Swiftie mania. We're going to have so much of that this morning.
I did not know where you're going to go with that.
I don't know either. All I know is people are ready.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be nuts.
I'm
today.
ready for these stories to be done. I'm just kidding.
Except for apparently it's not going to be done because she has a new album released
Oh,
next week.
keep them coming.
Never
Here we
ends.
go. The Oregon District's hosting a block party this Saturday. It's from noon to 6. Benefits small businesses, and it's also part of your White Claw sales.
Okay.
Will go towards the local cat rescue.
Oh, okay.
Wrote that one quick. Should be fun though. It's from noon to 6. Head on down there. They call it Independence Day as a play on words for independent businesses.
Oh,
so should be cool.
And now the most Dayton thing you'll see all week, a jet ski on wheels. This makeshift vehicle was spotted on Wayne Avenue. There are no words.
I love this tweet because it's like right when I'm like, hey, don't make fun of Dayton, you drive by a guy like this.
Yeah.
He's even got a, what is it called? Life jacket on, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the heck is he going?
Somewhere where we can't even imagine. This morning, one man is dead after an overnight shooting in Dayton. Police say a crash led up to the shooting.
Crews took the victim to Miami Valley Hospital where the person later died. Officers confirm one person is now in custody.
People living in Illinois are now cleaning up after a storm ripped through the area. You can see a down traffic light. You can see trees downed as well and even damaging homes.
The system came through the Miami Valley overnight. Now we're getting ready for more potential storms this weekend. So we're going to send things over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak with the latest.
We've issued a code red weather alert.
Code red weather alert.
And the reason why is because we do expect there to be some chance of severe weather for tomorrow. Really, the difference between today and tomorrow, and go back to yesterday. Yesterday was we didn't have the environment for storms. The storms completely fell apart. Today we have the environment. We just don't have a trigger. Tomorrow we have a better chance of putting everything together. If we do get a wave of energy in the Miami Valley, likely for us to see some storms with the potential for damaging wind gusts, large hail, and intense downpours, meaning localized flooding. Again, that's dependent on wave. You go back to yesterday, the biggest storyline we were watching was the air quality. Right now it's considered good, but it's likely to get into the unhealthy because today is going to be very much so hot and humid. I can't rule out an isolated storm, but again, without a wave of energy coming in, it does not look likely for any type of widespread severe weather. As for today, if you're going to be out and about, it's the Your Day podcast, or Your Day Extra podcast, excuse me, and that is going to be posted on our Facebook. So is our weather forecast. Go ahead and check that out. Nathan's going to be leading the charge there, or leading it into the ground. Either way, right now we are looking at a quiet morning commute. We do have, the usual construction zones, but we'll continue to keep our eyes on the roads as well.
This morning, we're waiting for the Supreme Court to decide the final 2 cases of the term, including the future of student loans. The justices have to decide if the president's plan to forgive $10,000 of loans is constitutional. They'll also decide whether a Christian web designer will have to create wedding websites for gay couples.
This comes as the court rules against affirmative action in college admissions. Karen Kafa is in Washington with details.
President Joe Biden expressing his disagreement with Thursday's landmark Supreme Court ruling banning race as a factor in college admissions.
Today, the court once again walked away from decades of precedent.
Overturning decades of precedent, the court's conservative justices struck down affirmative action programs at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. Programs the institutions argued helped them to diversify their student bodies. The justices said such programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing in the majority opinion, both programs lack sufficiently focused and measurable objectives warranting the use of race, unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack meaningful endpoints. Joined by liberal justices Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson in her dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote, "The court subverts the constitutional guarantee of equal protection by further entrenching racial inequality in education." The majority opinion said students may still address race in an application, like expressing how it's impacted their lives in an admissions essay. But the ruling will reverberate through the American college admissions process.
It will force every university to redo their admissions policies and try to figure out different ways to achieve diversity.
And potentially impact generations of American students.
And this morning, we're getting new reaction from the court's ruling. In a tweet, Senator J.D. Vance praised the move, saying, quote, "With the passage of the 14th Amendment, the people of our nation proclaim that the law may not sort citizens based on race." Meanwhile, Senator Sherrod Brown called it a step back.
It's a step back for the progress we've made in this country, and it takes opportunity from some young people that would like opportunity.
Abby Forbes spoke with people right here in the Miami Valley to find out what this decision means for local students and schools.
Yes, the specific case surrounded affirmative action being used in admissions process at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. The court ruled 6-3, saying that using race in the admissions process was in violation of the Constitution. This rolls back decades of precedent. Cedarville University told me that colleges and universities will likely still ask for an applicant's race. The difference is that the university will no longer be able to use that information as a deciding factor in the admissions process. And the NAACP told me a bit about what universities can still do to stay diverse.
We know that there are going to be some challenges with the legislation that has come about, but they can continue the practices of ensuring that, one, that there's diversity, there's equity, there's inclusion.
Experts told me that this ruling will likely be hard to police, and there will likely be cases that need to be worked out through the court system. Cedarville University, Central State, and UD all say that they will continue to uphold their school's missions and do not anticipate this changing their policies already in place.
The Supreme Court is set to release more decisions starting today. To get an alert when it happens, be sure to download our Dayton 24/7 Now app. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can also find it for free in your device's app store.
If justice is served, then I'm very grateful. The statute said up to 240 months. And as you heard, the sentencing guidelines indicated life. So he received the accountability that was due.
Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder is waking up to his first full day behind bars. A judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors say he accepted bribes, promising to pass a $1 billion bailout to benefit a nuclear energy company. Householder's attorneys say they disappointed in the sentence. Adding they plan to appeal, a judge will sentence former Ohio GOP Chair Matt Borges today. A jury convicted him of participating in the scheme.
Tennessee Titan and former Buckeye Nicholas Petit-Frere is sitting out 6 games. The NFL is suspending him for gambling on sports. The offensive tackle admitted to sports betting, but says he didn't bet on NFL teams. He also adds gambling was legal under Tennessee law. The problem is it happened at a Titans facility, which violates the league's gambling policy. He was expected to be a starter for the team in the fall.
Today, the Greene County is honoring one of its former deputies. The county is naming a stretch of US 35 in honor of Sheriff Gene Fisher. It's US 35 between US 68 and 42. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says Sheriff Fisher was dedicated to the community, who left behind a county better than how he found it. The Fairborn native died while in office in 2021. The dedication's happening this afternoon at the Greene County Career Center. It starts at 2.
Moving live over the Troy traffic circle this morning, the Miami County Sheriff's Office is one of several from across the Miami Valley reminding you to stay safe this 4th of July weekend. Deputies will be out cracking down on impaired drivers. If you're driving through Miami County, expect to see aggressive traffic enforcement. Deputies plan on targeting areas with high ratings of crashes and OVI arrests. Now, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is also doing their part to stop impaired drivers over the holiday weekend. The OVI task force is planning on having 4 sobriety checkpoints. 2 of them will be here in Dayton. Now,
there's some good news for anyone planning a 4th of July cookout. The American Farm Bureau says it'll cost you a little less this year. Still expensive. According to their latest survey, you can expect to spend around $67.73 for these staples. That's slightly less than last year's record high. Things like burger buns, beef, and potato salad will cost you more in 2023, but chicken breasts, lemonade, and cookies are slightly cheaper than last year. While the price may seem high, the Bureau says it breaks down to about $7 a person.
If you're looking for 4th of July.
If you're looking for 4th of July weekend plans, we got a list of all celebrations happening in the Miami Valley for Independence Day. You can find them at Dayton247now.com.
It's Friday, I just can't.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm making ribs for the holiday, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That sounds so good. We're going to have like a bonfire at our house.
Oh,
I don't know if we're
nice.
cooking out or anything. We'll probably do burgers, actually, because we do have burgers at home.
Great American staple.
Some burgers.
That's right.
Some burgers and beer.
Amen to that. Our time right now is 5:10. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Swifties supporting a great cause for a chance to see Taylor in person. Just ahead, Morella Porter highlights the homeless shelter that's benefiting.
You're watching Your Day.
A pair of Taylor Swift tickets generously donated to the emergency shelter of Northern Kentucky will make an impact well beyond the pop star's concerts this weekend.
That's right. The emergency shelter raked in nearly $94,000 after raffling off the tickets. Morella Porter shares the story of good karma.
2,000 chances to save someone from sleeping on the street. In their wildest dreams, staff at the emergency shelter of Northern Kentucky couldn't have imagined a crazier response.
What, started off to be selling tickets and giving people a chance to win, what we started seeing was just this level of support and care for the shelter.
Selling more than 2,000 tickets at $45 a pop for the floor seats.
What was really great is that we tied this to one night of shelter and services.
Raising enough money to run their overnight shelter program for 1 month.
That's where the $45 came in. They have an opportunity on the emergency shelter side for dinner and breakfast. And they also have an opportunity to do their own laundry, to shower, to take care of the basic necessities.
The shelter asking one of its guests to pull the winning ticket.
He himself, was appreciative of the people that bought the tickets to support the shelter for folks like him.
This is the moment when Jerry drew Heidi Adams' name. The shelter sent her this text. When Adams told her daughter, a huge fan who's seen every tour, she thought it was a hoax.
She said, "Mom, that is a scam. There's no way that you won those."
Long story short, it turned out to be the best day for an even bigger purpose.
It really meant a lot to me to also know that just Taylor's influence of putting in a little bit of money to potentially maybe get to see her raise so much money for such an amazing cause.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning. We are waking up to right now a little bit of quieter conditions, at least when it comes to the air quality and also the storm threat. We did have some storms forming around the Cincinnati area. Those have pushed south. Next line well out to the west. So we are in the midst of what is going to be somewhat of a quieter pattern for today, which means that unless there's going to be some sort of a trigger or an isolated storm that does develop, we probably won't be looking at much in the way of storms for today. Now, that being said, as we get into this evening, the heat and instability may be just enough to cause one or two. For tomorrow morning, there could be a couple of storms, but we are tracking the potential for, as we get into the middle of the day, of a wave of energy to pass through the Miami Valley. If we do see any type of wave, especially during the middle of the day, that is going to be the time period where you can see strong to severe storms. That's why we've gone and issued a code red, because frankly, the difference between today and tomorrow is just the lack of any type of widespread wave of energy. Today, mid to upper 80s. Tonight will be around 70, so very much so a humid air mass. A few storms are possible as we get into the morning hours, but better chances during the day tomorrow. If we don't see a whole lot of tomorrow, or even if frankly we do, we could see another line develop as soon as Sunday. So a very much so active pattern for us. One thing that has not been super active this morning, traffic, and it does look like right for now things moving smoothly on the interstates and state roads.
5:18 is our time right now. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, or Snapchat, what's your social media favorite? In minutes, we hop online and celebrate your likes and comments.
You're watching Your Day. An incoming senior at Beaver Creek High School just completed an incredible feat. Chloe Otten just completed the Strait of the Messina swim. That means she swam 2 miles across the Mediterranean Sea from Sicily to Calabria, Italy. Now, the organization organizing the swim only picks 30 people from around the world to participate in the worldwide event. Chloe completed the journey in just 38 minutes. The current record is 30 minutes and 50 seconds. Wow.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
And again, we are looking at a code red weather alert for tomorrow. In terms of today, if we are going to see any type of storms, it'd be afternoon, evening, but even still, I've kept it into the green. Tomorrow, a better chance of storms. And if we are going to see a period where it could be a little bit more active, I think it would be more towards the overnight or evening, late Saturday. That because we'll build in all the heat and instability. Perhaps as soon as overnight, though, we could see a few storms. So really all day Saturday is going to be a time period of concern. That due to the threat of strong to severe storms with any type of wave with this instability. It can cause widespread wind damage as well as potentially some large hail. So again, that's why we've issued the code red for tomorrow. Today should be relatively quiet. On the roads, it has been relatively quiet thus far. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns. Things moving smoothly on the interstates and state roads.
Coming up this week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, a drug called gabapentin has quietly become one of the most widely prescribed drugs in America. Mostly for illnesses, it was never FDA approved to treat. Some watchdogs are now calling for more controls over prescribing it. They've linked it to opioid deaths and allege it can be addictive for people like Leo Ashland, who have a history of substance abuse.
I think eventually I was just taking more because I was, back to that addiction mentality where like this stuff makes me feel good. When I wouldn't take them, it was bad withdrawals. Like it was like, the withdrawal symptoms felt exactly like the withdrawal symptoms from alcohol, where it was like sweating and shaky, and it's you can't function without it. The anxiety just went through the roof.
This week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson investigates gabapentin safety concerns and the push for the government to step in. You can watch Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this Sunday at 7:30 a.m. right here on ABC 22 or at 10 on our sister station, Fox 45.
A new study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine showed that calorie counting and intermittent fasting could be equally effective for weight loss if undertaken with professional counseling. Researchers at the University of Illinois in Chicago found the study did restrict the time during which you can eat and also restricted the number of calories were equally effective for losing weight. Well, for Americans relying on their daily prescriptions, losing them while traveling could be catastrophic to their health, especially for those with chronic illnesses. Dr. Colin Banas, the chief medical officer at Dr. First, shares some key tips for Americans traveling this summer, and those include keeping prescriptions within reach to avoid losing them, never pack them in a checked bag, and use technology to renew prescriptions as soon as needed. And nearly 16.5 million Americans are at risk of stroke from exercising too hard, according to a new study. This was published in the scientific journal Physics of Fluid, and researchers concluded that an elevated heart rate can induce a stroke in those with blocked carotid arteries. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Like, comment, or share a post. Today is Social Media Day. It dates back to 2002 with Friendster, one of the first popular social media platforms. Then came MySpace and, of course, Facebook, Twitter, and numerous others. You can celebrate the day by making a post on your favorite social media platform, share your favorite meme, or connect with someone you've not spoken to in ages. All right, what app do you guys think you spend the absolute most time on in terms of social media?
Instagram.
You do the Instagram, eh?
I do the Instagram, yeah.
I do the Instagram. I love to post the stories.
Probably Reddit more than anything. I just love
the dark web.
No, I just love the little subreddits of my interest. And yeah, what about you? Facebook, I would assume?
Oh, no. I actually Twitter.
Twitter.
I do love Twitter.
Twitter.
I love reading. I keep up with all the news and stuff on there.
Yeah, I feel you on that frontier. You know what I also feel? Nick Marusiak weather on Facebook. Just saying.
A shameless plug?
No, that was a full shame plug.
A full shame.
Yeah,
All
full
the shame.
Alex, you plugging anything? Go for it. Like, you gotta, come on.
I'm okay. They already follow me, so.
Go visit Nick's UFO subreddit online as well. That one's a good one right next to his grilling
No, it's
subreddit.
an underwater UFO subreddit.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't nerd out quite enough there.
5:27 is our time right now. Looking live at the Gem City, a code red weather alert issued for Saturday in minutes. Nick has a look at your weekend forecast.
Swifty weekend starts today in the Queen City. In minutes, how Cincinnati is preparing for the biggest concert of the summer and what you need to know if you're heading to the show.
In today's Tech Bites, a little extra help when it comes to shopping online. Microsoft is adding more artificial intelligence components to its Bing search engine and Edge web browser. So among the new features, AI-generated buying guides tailored by your shopping-related searches. Well, next, Snapchat says its subscription service, Snapchat Plus, has signed up 4 million users in its first year. It also announced 2 new features coming to the service. First, the ability to send messages in larger font sizes and a choice of colors for users' names. And Sony's smartphone motion tracking system is coming to the U.S. The technology made its debut this year in Japan. Now that system has 6 trackers that attach using magnets. It will be available later this month with a price tag of about $449. Well, those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
From big cities to small towns and on main streets across the U.S., you'll find PNC Bank, helping businesses both large and small, communities, and the people who live and work there grow and thrive. We're proud to call these places home, too. They're where we put down roots and where together we work to help move everyone's financial goals forward. PNC Bank. Good morning with Vocalax. Good morning. Hey. Yeah. Try Vocalax Chewy Fruit Bites for fast and gentle constipation relief in as little as 30 minutes, making your good morning even better with Vocalax.
Bug spray works best when your family actually wears it. Get odor-free 8-hour protection from mosquitoes and ticks without the ick. Zevo On-Body Repellent.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex Gig. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Proof we're living in the best timeline. The Italian government is offering up the Colosseum for the fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Musk says there's a chance it happens.
Oh man, I want Mark Zuckerberg to win this big. Are you not entertained?
That is insane.
This is,
But that would be so cool.
It'd be terrible. God help us all. According to a tweet from Apple TV, Roger Ebert called Silo, quote, one of the best shows of the year.
Good.
Just one problem is Roger Ebert died in 2013.
Oh.
10 years ago. I guess, I mean, he still has his website up and running and people kind of write stuff on there, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's not alive still. So
Interesting. Well, the show is really good, so.
Oh, good.
And South Korea is changing the way it counts people's ages. The old law considered you, 1, the day you were born, and added a year on January 1st, meaning a child born on December 31st is 2 years old the next day.
What? That don't make no sense. I feel dumber for reading that. Just now, just not gonna lie.
What?
I don't know. That means
Interesting.
that means I'm 36 or something now, I guess, in Korean terms. Whatever. Cincinnati's now Swiftinati, and Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is coming to the Queen City for the weekend.
This is the long line we saw yesterday as people waited for merch. 2 fans even called out sick from work to get their hands on tour-only merchandise. Our sister station interviewed them.
Cousin It, is that you? They wore blankets over their heads to protect their identities, and thousands of fans packing into Paycor Stadium tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. So meteorologist Nick Maruziak is joining us live in the Weather Center. Nick, the show is in the middle of a severe weather threat.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
And we have issued a code red weather alert for Saturday. So, yes, there is a chance of some strong to severe storms. Now, tonight, I think is going to be the better night, if you will. It's going to be very much so hot and humid. We could have these temperatures actually getting above 90 in Cincinnati. And with it, it could feel like the triple digits. Tomorrow night, there is some concern for some strong to severe storms in the region. Now, whether or not that ends up directly over the stadium, at this point, really tough to say. Basically, what we're looking at is waves of energy moving through perhaps as soon as tomorrow morning, with another wave possible later in the day. Any of those waves could produce damaging wind gusts or large hail, as well as intense downpours. That's why the threat is for Saturday, or at least the code red all day Saturday. In my mind right now, it'd be more towards the afternoon, evening for the bigger threat. Meanwhile, if you want to get your Swift talk on, or at least a take on it, well, Nathan, our boss, and also our producer, Andy, going to do the Your Day Extra podcast. You can find that on our Facebook and our Twitter. You can find right now the roads pretty quiet all across the board. Haven't seen any types or crashes, just the usual slowdowns in those construction zones on 675.
Taylor Swift's impact is being felt throughout Cincinnati, but she wasn't always performing in front of sold-out crowds. Like many artists, she made her start playing in small-town venues. Her first gig in the area was back in July of 2007. Then the teenage star played at the Festival of the Bells in Hillsborough, opening for Emerson Drive, back when Taylor Swift was still in her debut era. But she still had a big fan base in the state.
Oh, they knew her. She had a way of connecting to a lot of people that was 10, 12, 14 years of age. And she has built her fan base quite well.
This is so cool. Swift was hired to perform for $6,000 then. She's since performed at Riverbend and Heritage Bank twice, and she hasn't been to Cincinnati since 2010.
Reports are estimating the Eras Tour could bring up to $92 million in local spending over the weekend. Many businesses across the city are already feeling the positive effects of her highly anticipated shows. With the expected crowds, restaurants have been gearing up. Many of them have Taylor-themed items on the menu for a limited time. The Filson at the Banks is fully booked for Friday and Saturday. They have many Swift-themed items, including a lavender haze cocktail. And check this out. graders taking to Instagram last night to share their connection to Taylor. They say they had the honor of meeting Taylor when she performed at Riverbend. She even signed this picture for them, writing on the picture, "I heart graders. We seriously love y'all." So cute. If you are heading to one of the Taylor Swift concerts, we would love to see your pictures, so you can chime them in on our website at Dayton247now.com, or you can scan this QR code on your screen. We have a specific Taylor Swift bubble for just the occasion.
A 39-year-old man is now in custody after crashing a car into a home on State Route 744 in Camden. According to the Preble County Sheriff's Office, after the crash, the driver got out of the car, walked up to a house, and became very aggressive with the homeowner. Police say he assaulted 3 people inside the home. Sheriff Simpson says he suspects drugs are involved. The investigation is ongoing.
Yesterday, Senator Sherrod Brown visited with 7th, 8th, and 9th grade students at a Montgomery County summer building trades camp. The camp gives Dayton students the chance to explore buildings, trades, careers in their communities. Students will also learn how manufacturing facilities are built, participate in team building exercises, and even get a chance to try out building trades skills for themselves. Brown's office began organizing summer manufacturing camps in 2013. Since then, they have organized more than 160 camps throughout the state. This year, Brown's office helped organize at least 36 camps in 26 countries.
School may be out for the summer, but districts are still hard at work on new levies. Gwyneth Falloon has been tracking what will appear on your upcoming November ballot.
Centerville is one of 2 school districts looking to upgrade their levy. The district is asking for a 5.9 mil levy to help cover mostly operational costs. The superintendent says the additional money will help cover inflation costs, recruit and retain staff, and meet the health and safety needs of students and staff. The district estimates the levy will bring in a total of about $13 million, costing taxpayers an additional $17.21 for every $100,000 in home value. Some in the district argue the change relies too heavily on taxpayers.
Homeowners carry already an unfairly large burden for this expense, and this levy request will make that worse.
Beaver Creek City Schools are also asking for a 1 mil permanent improvement levy. More about that can be found on our website, Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Our time right now is 5:38. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Foster teens getting a chance to see the concert of the summer today in Hometown Heroes. Adam Arrows highlights the community stepping up to create a special memory.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We are looking at right now the potential for some damaging wind gusts, large hail, intense downpours on Saturday. What we will be getting is waves of energy into the region, and we're going to be playing the game of can they move into the Miami Valley? And if they do, they likely will trigger an organized rain threat, including, like I mentioned, a potential for a severe weather threat. Here's what it looks like right now in the greater Dayton area. We have seen some clouds from a system that moved through yesterday. In fact, I think officially it could be called a derecho. It moved through Nebraska in towards Illinois and then through Indiana, got to about Indianapolis and started to lose some of its gusto. By the time it got to the Indiana and Ohio border, it really went from a severe weather threat to more just a gusty wind threat. For us, over the next 24 to 48 hours, our atmosphere will be unstable, but we're not going to see any type of triggers till at least tomorrow morning, and that's why we've issued that code red all day tomorrow, because frankly, it's the entire day that could see the threat for some strong to severe storms.
The big Taylor Swift concerts this weekend in Cincinnati creating a fever pitch across the Miami Valley.
Yeah, there's been many stories leading up to it. Adam Era shows us one that's full of hometown heroes.
So the Taylor Swift concert is all many are talking about this week. You might have heard she's playing 2 shows in Cincinnati beginning tonight, Friday. There's been many side stories leading up to it, but this one is one of my favorites because of the kindness involved. Hamilton County is sending 120 teens in foster care to the concerts, and that is not all. Amanda Carter in the county's public relations department had her friends help her make friendship bracelets for the teens. They shared the idea on social media. It went viral. People started sending bracelets and money to help from all across the country. Now they got 672 bracelets to fill gift bags. Carter says she used to be in foster care herself and hopes the gifts help make the teens' night a little extra special. Now those tickets were donated through Hamilton County's new Beyond Your Imagination program. For the efforts of Carter and the county, I think they are all hometown heroes.
And if you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
And you can chime in your submission through our app. We see a description on why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
5:44 is our time right now. Dayton and Ohio State coming together on the hardwood for a great cause. In minutes, Matt Digby highlights the special basketball game scheduled this fall.
You're watching Your Day.
morning. I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. UD men's basketball is still a few months away from preseason activities, but one of those activities announced Thursday, an exhibition game with Ohio State at UD Arena. The Flyers and Buckeyes will take part in an NCAA waiver-approved charity game scheduled for Sunday, October 22nd. The game is part of a multi-day event in the Miami Valley dedicated to adolescent and young adult mental health and suicide prevention. It's a cause that has affected Flyers head coach Anthony Graham personally. Grant and his wife will be at town hall meetings in the days leading up to the charity game. Both town hall events are free to the public, and the start time for the basketball game still being determined. Grant saying he is thankful to Ohio State for their being able to take part. All proceeds from all events will benefit both the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation and the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Ohio. Cincinnati Reds had Thursday off, but they played 81 games so far, exactly half of their 2023 season. And at this stage back in 2022, the Reds only had 28 wins on their record. This year, that win total up to 43. And the majority of the Reds' wins the last 2 weeks have been in come-from-behind fashion, including Wednesday in Baltimore, where the Reds trailed after 1. Then they led until the 8th inning, but 4 more runs in the 10th, giving them the series win over the Orioles. Another example of how the Reds have kept from folding under pressure. That's a main reason why their win total in 2023 is 15 games higher than this time 12 months ago. Well, it's a big weekend for the Reds at home. The last game's at Great American Ballpark before the All-Star break, and Cincinnati will face a San Diego Padres team that has lost 5 straight. In fact, San Diego hasn't won a game outside the state of California in almost 3 weeks. Now, tonight's game is a 5 p.m. start, earlier than usual. And speaking of the All-Star game, Centerville native Sean Murphy, who played college ball at Wright State, he has been named the starting catcher for the National League on July 11th. That'll do it for sports. I'm Matt Digby.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We are looking at the potential for some strong to severe storms over the weekend. Here's what's going on right now. We did watch a couple of waves of energy pass to our south. Those were not expected to do much in a grand scheme of things across the Miami Valley. However, we are tracking the potential for at least the wave possible as soon as tomorrow morning, although better chances would move in second half of Saturday into the Saturday night time period. For today, it's probably just a mix of sun and clouds with highs somewhere in the upper 80s. I do think there's a chance we could hit 90 degrees closer down towards Cincinnati. That's very much so hot and humid. But again, no trigger, so at best an isolated storm possible. There's that first wave, not overly impressive, but that could produce again strong to severe storms. The secondary wave would arrive more towards again the second half of Saturday, perhaps even into Sunday morning, and frankly even Sunday morning as Sunday itself could be a producer of some strong to severe storms. This is something we're going to have to watch. It's a very much so active pattern. Again, code red for tomorrow. Simply put, we're going to have those 2 waves. Any type of wave could produce some strong to severe storms because of the instability. The good news is we are trending drier for your July 4th holiday.
Our time right now is 5:50. Still to come, super small and super expensive. A joke on consumer capitalism bringing in a crazy price. In minutes, the handbag turning heads at auction.
There's just no words. You're watching Your Day.
In this morning's GMA First Look, we're diving into some of the hottest deals heading into the holiday weekend as part of our July 4th sales extravaganza.
Consumers are certainly strapped from inflation, and they've been, thinking about purchases more deliberately. We really are seeing retailers bringing out deals on those big ticket items that would normally be a budget search for consumers, trying to bring that down into a very tempting price point.
For some of the biggest savings, experts say to shop for grills, mattresses, clothes, and furniture.
Think of 4th of July weekend as your round 1, and that Prime Day week, Black Friday in July, as your round 2 to get any deals that you might not have gotten 4th of July weekend.
And coming up at 7 a.m., what to buy when, the sales to watch and ones to wait on to save you some cold, hard cash. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Trilogy for COPD.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Breeze
Drifting on by, you know how I feel.
You don't have to take COPD sitting down.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
It's time to make a stand.
And I'm feeling good.
Start a new day with Trelegy. No once-daily COPD medicine has the power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trelegy. With 3 medicines in 1 inhaler, Trelegy makes breathing easier for a full 24 hours, improves lung function, and helps prevent future flare-ups. Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Take a stand and start a new day with Trelegy. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy and
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning it is a much clearer morning. We're not dealing with quite as much of that fog, the smoke, the haze. Frankly, the air quality this morning is good, but it could get worse later on today, simply because it is going to be really hot and humid and also stagnant. Speaking of relatively humid, that's what the case is this morning, upper 60s. Luckily, the sweater is very light. Otherwise, I would be very toasty out here. In fact, once the sun comes up, it's going to be very hot outside to be in a sweater. But we are looking at the potential for strong to severe storms tomorrow due to this hot and unstable air mass. Today, the difference is we're not going to have any waves coming through. Could see a disturbance as soon as tomorrow morning, but better chances for tomorrow night. And again, that's why we have issued that code red for tomorrow.
A shocking sale of a fluorescent handbag that is smaller than a grain of salt, going for more than $63,000 at auction. Check this out. This is so dumb. This microscopic handbag is barely visible to the human eye. Mischief, the Brooklyn art house, created it based on the popular Louis Vuitton design. The tiny replica can reportedly fit through the eye of a needle. Look at that little guy. The object was sold alongside a microscope equipped with a digital display so you can actually see the bag. Mischief is known for irreverent art projects that poke fun at consumer capitalism. They're making bank.
Seriously. The Cincinnati Reds doing their part in preparing for the Taylor Swift concert tonight and tomorrow. Both games moved up as they try to help with traffic. Cincy also having some with T-Swift madness. The Reds posting on their Twitter account Taylor Swift song or a 90s rom-com.
Sweet. Wow. Now and 10. Now and 10. This is a song. This is a movie. This is a movie. Never been kissed.
Do you think it's a movie or a song?
I think this is a song.
It's a movie.
I thought you
It's all right.
Come on.
Can't hardly wait.
I'm gonna say this is a Taylor Swift song.
Unfortunately, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Man. Can't get it open. You belong with me. Taylor Swift song.
Oh, I would fail that.
You sing.
I was 2 for 3. I was there. Like, I'm like, yep, that's a movie. I just know like a lot of 90s movies. Just
You like a good rom-com?
Hey,
like
look.
He loves a good craft beer and a good cry in a rom-com. Drew Barrymore.
Hey, I love a good cry too.
Okay. Thanks.
It's okay.
Don't blow my Friday night plans, all right?
All right. Leave him be.
All right. It's wine for 2, movie for 1, all right?
Yeah, amen to that. Edna Krabappel.
Yes.
Is that right? All right, we got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
The perfect surprise in minutes. Adam Hero. The special adoption in today's Tales of Love.
You're watching Your Day. Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex Ging. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. It's Taylor Swift Day in Cincinnati. It's here.
Yeah!
Here's video of Cruz getting ready at Paycor Stadium for her shows tonight and tomorrow.
Happy tear alert. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I just know we have a producer. Her name is Allie, and she has been obsessing over this.
Yes. Do you know which day she's going?
Tomorrow.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but she said it's a whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some dedication.
People love their Taylor Swift. And the Oregon District's hosting a block party this Saturday. It's from noon to 6 and benefits small businesses. Also, part of White Claw sales will go towards a local cat rescue. Claws for paws is what they're saying.
Claws for paws.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. A lot of people getting out celebrating throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and it helps out your local businesses.
Yeah.
And now the most Dayton thing you'll see all week. The jet ski on wheels. This makeshift vehicle was spotted on Wayne Avenue.
I love this so much. This is so Dayton. I mean, good. Yeah.
I would say this is more Florida than Dayton, but
hey, guess what? Dayton is the Florida of Ohio. Just throwing it out there. This morning, one man is dead after an overnight shooting in Dayton. Police say a crash led up to the shooting.
Crews took the victim to Miami Valley Hospital, where the person later died. Officers confirmed one person is now in custody.
And people living in Illinois are now cleaning up after a storm ripped through the area. You can see down traffic lights and trees. It even damaged homes.
Yeah, definitely a scary situation. The system came through the Miami Valley overnight. Now we're getting ready for more potential storms this weekend. Meteorologist Nick Maruziak joins us with the latest.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning. We are continuing to track the threat of some strong to severe storms. So today it's going to be a little bit more quiet. Tomorrow we've got the potential for damaging wind gusts, large hail, as well as some intense downpours. And while I don't expect it to be a full day rain event, we do have the threat of showers and thunderstorms during the morning as well as at night. Go back to yesterday. The biggest threat was air quality. Today will probably top out somewhere around unhealthy for sensitive, but we are right now considered good. Let's go back to the Independence Day. If you are going to be at the Oregon District tomorrow, again, this is a case where you just need to stay weather aware. Meanwhile, you need to stay aware of our Facebook, because why? We'll let you know if anything does come up. We'll also have the latest weather forecast there, as well as Your Day Extra podcast, which is going to be fun because Nathan's on it, our boss is on it, and producer Andy, well, he'll be there as well. As for traffic, it's quiet, so you have something to listen to this morning if there is going to be any traffic, or if you just have a longer morning commute.
This morning, we're waiting for the Supreme Court to decide the final two cases of the term, including the future of student loans. The justices have to decide if the president's plan to forgive $10,000 of loans is constitutional. They'll also decide whether a Christian web designer will have to create wedding websites for gay couples.
Well, this comes as the court rules against affirmative action in college admissions. Karen Kafa is in Washington with details.
President Joe Biden expressing his disagreement with Thursday's landmark Supreme Court ruling banning race as a factor in college admissions.
Today, the court once again walked away from decades of precedent.
Overturning decades of precedent, the court's conservative justices struck down affirmative action programs at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. Programs the institutions argued helped them to diversify their student bodies. The justices said such programs violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing in the majority opinion, both programs lack sufficiently focused and measurable objectives warranting the use of race, unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack meaningful endpoints. Joined by liberal justices Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson in her dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote, "The court subverts the constitutional guarantee of equal protection by further entrenching racial inequality in education." The majority opinion said students may still address race in an application, like expressing how it's impacted their lives in an admissions essay. But the ruling will reverberate through the American college admissions process.
It will force every university to redo their admissions policies and try to figure out different ways to achieve diversity.
And potentially impact generations of American students.
We're getting new reaction this morning to the court's ruling. In a tweet, Senator J.D. Vance praised the move, saying, quote, "With the passage of the 14th Amendment, the people of our nation proclaim that the law may not sort citizens based on race." Meanwhile, Senator Sherrod Brown called it a step back.
It's a step back for the progress we've made in this country, and it takes opportunity from some young people that would like opportunity.
Abby Forbes spoke with people right here in the Miami Valley to find out what this decision means for local schools and students.
Yes, the specific case surrounded affirmative action being used in admissions process at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. The court ruled 6-3, saying that using race in the admissions process was in violation of the Constitution. This rolls back decades of precedent. Cedarville University told me that colleges and universities will likely still ask for an applicant's race. The difference is that the university will no longer be able to use that information as a deciding factor in the admissions process. And the NAACP told me a bit about what universities can still do to stay diverse.
We know that there are going to be some challenges with the legislation that has come about, but they can continue the practices of ensuring that, one, that there's diversity, there's equity, there's inclusion.
Experts told me that this ruling will likely be hard to police, and there will likely be cases that need to be worked out through the court system. Cedarville University, Central State, and UD all say that they will continue to uphold their school's missions and do not anticipate this changing their policies already in place.
The Supreme Court is set to release more decisions starting today. To get an alert when it happens, be sure to download our Dayton 24/7 Now app and just scan the QR code on your screen. You can also find it for free in your device's app store.
If justice is served, then I'm very grateful. The statute said up to 240 months.
And as you heard, the sentencing guidelines indicated life. So he received the accountability that was due.
Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder is waking up to his first full day behind bars. A judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison. Prosecutors say he accepted bribes, promising to pass $1 billion bailout to benefit a nuclear energy company. Now, Householder's attorneys say they're disappointed in the sentence, adding they plan to appeal. A judge will sentence former House GOP Chair Matthew Borges today. A jury convicted him of participating in the scheme.
Moving live over the Troy traffic circle this morning, the Miami County Sheriff's Office is one of several from across the Miami Valley reminding you to stay safe this 4th of July weekend. Deputies will be out cracking down on impaired drivers. If you're driving through Miami County, expect to see aggressive traffic enforcement. Deputies plan on targeting areas with high rates of crashes and OVI arrests. Now, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is also doing their part to stop impaired drivers over the holiday weekend. The OVI task force is planning on having 4 sobriety checkpoints. 2 of them will be in Dayton.
There's some good news for anyone planning a 4th of July cookout. The American Farm Bureau says it'll cost a little less this year. And according to the latest survey, you expect about $67.73 for these staples right here behind me. That's slightly less than last year's record high. Things like burger buns, beef and potato salad will cost you more in 2023. Now, chicken breasts, lemonade, and cookies are slightly cheaper than last year. While the price may seem high, the Bureau says it breaks down to about $7 a person. And if you're looking for 4th of July weekend plans, we've got a full list of celebrations happening in the Miami Valley for Independence Day. You can find them at Dayton247now.com. Should be fun.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already 4th of July.
I can't eat. I bought a watermelon yesterday.
You bought a watermelon.
That is like
Good
peak
for
summer. I know. Goals, right?
6:09 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
A major furniture outlet ready to add another location here in the Miami Valley. Just ahead, the multiple $million project coming to Troy and when they plan to open.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We are tracking the potential for some strong to severe storms tomorrow. It is going to be all dependent on whether or not we get a wave of energy into the area. The first wave could arrive as soon as overnight tonight through tomorrow morning. So for all intents and purposes today, despite the fact that we are going to be really hot and humid, I don't expect much in the way of activity. An isolated storm can't be ruled out, simply put, because it's going to be so hot and humid, sometimes you could just break through what we call the cap. Meanwhile, again, for tomorrow morning into the first part of tomorrow, that's wave number one. The second wave would arrive more towards overnight Saturday to Sunday, and frankly, even Sunday, there could be some potential for strong storms, although we haven't quite gotten to the point of issuing code red for Sunday. I would say that Saturday at this point is going to offer an opportunity. Need to stay weather aware. Meanwhile, stay aware of traffic. Right for now, it's quiet, but as we know, things can change rapidly here in the Miami Valley. 70, 675, 75, 35, and 4, all in good order thus far.
Our time right now is 6:13, the perfect surprise.
Whoa!
In minutes, Adam Arrow highlights a special adoption in today's Tales of Love.
Catwoman there. You're watching Your Day.
Discovering you have a space in your heart to give even more. An Ohio family discovered that and more.
Today in Tales of Love, Adam Merrill highlights their special adoption from the Humane Society of Greater Dayton.
Sometimes you just have to keep pawing to find something special.
She just had the sweetest little face and the cutest eyes. It's always in the eyes for me.
So for Jessica Brewer, finding Gemma at the Humane Society of Greater Dayton was love at first sight.
Once they told me, that she was playful and social and everything that I thought she would be. I said, sure thing, let's go. She ultimately was a present for my son who graduated pre-K, and he is a big cat lover, so she was a surprise.
It was a surprise that was quite welcome for both Brewer's son and his new playful best friend.
She is with us constantly. She follows us around. She meows for attention. She's so playful and social. Just an all-around good cat.
A good cat, leading to the beginnings of some good habits for her son.
He understands, that she's a living being. We have to check her box. We have to make sure that she has her toys and that she has her food and water. So he is such a sweet soul. So he wants to make sure that she's taken care of and has everything that she needs.
And it turns out Gemma has been everything this family needed too.
You don't know that you have all that space in your heart to give until you give them and get them. And you're like, oh, this was a missing link.
A missing link, thanks to an adoption of a new furry friend.
And if you have any interest in finding a companion of your own, you can head over to the Humane Society of Greater Dayton's website to check them out. That's at hsdayton.org.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning. We are waking up to right now some cloudy skies over the greater Dayton area. Not quite as much of that haze or fog. I think, unfortunately, the camera may just be a little touch out of focus, and why we're seeing that little bit of the city there as a haze. But the point of the matter is today should be a relatively quiet day. We're going to go ahead and call it partly cloudy. Yesterday we had a swath of storms from basically Nebraska all the way through Indiana. Got to about the point of Indianapolis, and that's where it started to get okay, maybe a little bit worrisome. They did issue a couple of watches and warnings for right along the Indiana-Ohio border. By that point, though, the storms had significantly fallen apart. For us today, I don't see anywhere in the near way of storms. Could be an isolated pop-up style thunderstorm. It's going to frankly be hot and humid. But tonight, and this is why we've issued the code red, we are looking at a few storms possible as we get into the morning hours. That's a part of one wave. Basically, any wave that moves through this area with such a hot, humid air mass in place, it'll wipe out the cap and thus could end up producing some strong to severe storms. That's not to say that we're going to deal with severe storms every single hour tomorrow, but there is going to be at least the threat of any wave that moves through producing it. So again, that's why we've issued the code red, partially also due to the fact that we have Taylor Swift in Cincinnati. We have a ton of events around town. We want to give you the heads up just to stay weather aware, and we may end up having to extend that into Sunday just because, frankly, Sunday and Monday also looking quite stormy at times. As for traffic this morning, it has been, well, fairly quiet across the area. Haven't seen any types or concerns. Right now, traffic seems to be moving okay at Main Street, US 35, 3rd Street, and Northwoods.
Tennessee Titan and former Buckeye Nicholas Petit-Frere is sitting out 6 games. The NFL is suspending him for gambling on sports. The offensive tackle admitted to sports betting, but says he didn't bet on NFL teams. He also adds gambling was legal under Tennessee law. The problem is it happened at a Titans facility, which violates the league's gambling policy. He was expected to be a starter for the team in the fall.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, one of the world's largest home furnishing brands will open its newest Dayton area location next year. Sydney-based Goffney Furniture and Mattress, my apologies, will construct a multi-million-dollar Ashley Furniture Industries location in Troy. It'll be on Town Park Drive, and construction will cost around $4 million. The store should open next summer. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com. Click on the news tab and select the Dayton Business Journal. That's an example of why I am the Hot Mess Express.
621, not going to disagree with you. It's our time right now. Digital producer Max getting you ready for a holiday weekend. Your Facebook poll question coming up in minutes.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We have issued that code red weather alert for tomorrow, but in terms of today, it's actually going to be a hot, humid day, which means you can get outside with your dog, pet, or maybe your cat can go out there as well. But you want to make sure that they're going to have plenty of liquid water. Temperatures are in the upper 80s. Difference between today and tomorrow, frankly, is the fact that we do have a cap in place both days. So you need something to trigger it to get rid of the cap to get the type of severe weather. I don't think we'll see that for today, hence why we're in the green, which is the level 1 risk. Better chances. Again, we're down around Cincinnati this morning. Meanwhile, for tomorrow, it is basically the entirety of the Miami Valley with the exception of our far northern counties. This is going to be the better chance, and we could see this threat continue into parts of Sunday. Keep that in mind. This is a weekend where we've got so many outdoor activities, and yes, we're getting close to July 4th, but you have to stay weather aware. On the roads this morning, it has been a quiet morning commute thus far, and things looking pretty quiet out there. I'm sure the roads down to Cincinnati are going to be filled with a ton of T Swift fans on the way.
Swifties
unite.
And on that note, we have a wonderful poll question this morning with digital producer Max.
Howdy, we got some fun answers. As we all know very much at this point, Taylor Swift is going to be having a concert, I believe, today and tomorrow in Cincinnati. People have been lining up. That got me thinking, what is the best concert you've ever been to?
All right. My favorite one I've ever been to was actually more of a music festival. It was Bonnaroo down in Tennessee back in 2011. In one night, I saw Arcade Fire, the Black Keys, Mumford & Sons, and Eminem.
Wow.
I was about to, one of those does not belong with the others.
I know Eminem was very random, but the show was so good. I mean, it was awesome. So, yeah, that was fun.
Mine also wasn't really a concert. It was like a Reds official after party thing that I went to. And I was basically on stage with Macklemore and Snoop Dogg.
That's
so
correct.
Cool.
Oh, that.
I believe it.
Yo, Snoop Dogg and Dog. Right? Yeah, sorry.
Snoop Dogg
that was pretty terrible, wasn't it? Nick?
Blink-182 in Detroit would be number 2, but number 1, a band called Amberlin. I saw them just before they made it big, and it was really cool to be like, hey, I was talking to the drummer, and being like, now they're basically opening for Chevelle and eventually headlining tours.
That puts you in hipster territory. I knew them before they were big.
Hey, you know what? Max, what do you got?
You know, so up in Kent, there is a local band called People in the Daytime, and it's a nice band. They just had a show up in Kent. It was a good time.
Max is out there raging.
Yeah, they have like bowling pins on their heads. It's a weird group. I'll show you a song. It's pretty good.
You know what? That does not surprise me at all. Okay, give us 2 quick ones.
Two quick ones. Sherry says Big and Rich, and Anita says Guns N' Roses and Garth Brooks.
That's a combination.
Strong
I would
answer.
love to see Garth Brooks.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a country music fan, but he puts on quite the show. Max, we appreciate it. We'll be back with old Maximilian here coming up in the next hour. Go chime in on Facebook.
6:27 is our time right now. Swiftie weekend starts in the weekend in the Queen City. In a minute, how Cincinnati is preparing for the biggest concert of the summer and what you need to know if you're headed to the show.
But first, here's Stacey Bell with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
If you're like me and everybody in your house is on a health journey, this Counto digital scale is really going to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. I did a lot of research and I'm so excited about this. I'm going to show you what you get when you bring it home. But it is a digital scale and it gives you 12 different body measurements, not just your weight, because our weight really fluctuates. So this is going to give you more information, like you'll get your BMI, your bone index, and your basal metabolic rate. And if you're a new mom, it's really cool because there's a baby growth setting and you can put it in baby mode. And if you're an athlete, like I have a lot of muscle men in my house, you can also measure your muscle mass. I don't like getting on a scale. I do not, but knowledge is power, and this gives me so much information. It's really been a game changer with my health along that journey. This pairs with any smartphone, so you can take all of that data on this scale, and it's going to be on your app. Now, let me tell you how this works. The science is a little bit much. The scale can measure all these things. All you got to do, you step on it. It uses bioelectrical impedance, which measures how easily an electrical signal can move throughout your body. I know it's a lot, but that signal is going to move faster through muscle, so it can help you track what's muscle and what's fat. This is such a great deal and a cool product. Right now, we're offering 38% off the Counto scale. Head over to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. Proof we're living in the best timeline. The Italian government is offering up the Colosseum for the fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Musk says there's a chance it might happen.
The only thing that make this better is if they're blaring Limp Bizkit on the speakers as this is going on. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just so like...
Both look like Limp Bizkit dudes. Just throwing it out there.
This is just insane.
It's really quite ridiculous. Like, let's just fight.
That's so dramatic.
Yeah, but you
know
what
it is to be filthy rich just tweeting that they want to fight.
I think they should just unleash a tiger and take care of both of them. Gladiator! Anyways, according to a tweet from Apple TV, Roger Ebert called Silo, quote, one of the best shows of the year. Just one problem. Roger Ebert died a decade ago. Yeah.
But as you mentioned, people control his account still, so obviously it wasn't him.
The ghost of Roger Ebert says it's one of the best shows of the year.
I will say it is a really good show and you should watch it.
There you go, says Alex King.
Yes. South Korea is changing the way it counts people's ages. The old law considered you one the day you were born and added a year on January 1st. So meaning a child born on December 31st is 2 years old the next day.
That... my brain hurts.
And then that means you age, what, twice in 1 year?
No.
Just back to back? It's so confusing.
I'm not smart enough for this. Yeah. Well, Cincinnati is now. Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit on that one. My apologies. Cincinnati.
Fire drill, everybody.
Nick is supposed to come in here in a minute. We'll get to him in just a second. Cincinnati is now Swiftinati. Taylor Swift's Era Tour is coming to the Queen City for the weekend.
Okay, this is the long line we saw yesterday as people waited for merch. 2 fans even called out sick from work to get on tour-only merchandise. Our sister station interviewed them.
Yeah, they wore blankets over their heads to protect their identities. This is such a vibe, and I love this, as thousands of fans are packing Paycor Stadium tonight and tomorrow.
Yes, so meteorologist Nick Maruziak joining us now. Nick, the show is in the middle of a severe weather threat.
Yeah, tomorrow's show is probably the biggest. We've actually issued a code red for tomorrow due to that severe weather threat. Let's get to weather, shall we? And we'll talk about.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
So if you're going to the concert tonight and you are going to be out and about, it is going to be quite hot and humid. Temperatures upper 80s, if not 90 degrees. If you are going to be about to, let's say, midnight or so, that's where we'll see these temperatures get down to around 80. So tonight, other than the fact is that it's going to be really hot and humid, it should be a good night for a show. Tomorrow night, I have maybe not a ton of concern per se, but I do have some for the fact that we could see some strong to severe storms somewhere in the region. It really depends on the timing of a wave and also where those waves end up, and that includes the greater Dayton area. That's why we've issued that code red weather alert for damaging wind gusts as well as large hail. Could be some intense downpours, and that would mean that if you're going to the concert, you could get quite wet. But also, if there is going to be storms, there could be some strong to severe weather in amongst them. So be very weather aware over the next 24 hours. Also, you know, we are on Your Day. We did post the weather forecast there. If you want to check that out, go for it. As well as, well, we've got the Your Day Extra podcast. Guess who's doing that one? Nathan and our boss, Becky. So be sure to tune in or we'll all be fired in revenge. All right, as for this morning, we do have one issue right now. That's 675 near Colonel Glenn. If you are traveling in that direction, a little bit of a slowdown. Everything else seems to be moving fine.
Taylor Swift's impact is being felt throughout Cincinnati, but she wasn't always performing in front of sold-out crowds. Now, like many artists, she made her start playing in small-town venues. Her first gig in the area was back in July of 2007. She then was a teenage star and played at the Festival of the Bells in Hillsborough, opening for Emerson Drive, back when Taylor Swift was still in her debut era.
Oh, they knew her. She had a way of connecting to a lot of people that was 10, 12, 14 years of age. And she has built her fan base quite well.
Swift was hired to perform for $6,000 then. She's since performed at Riverbend and Heritage Bank twice. She hasn't been to Cincinnati since 2010.
Reports are estimating the Eras Tour could bring up to $92 million in local spending over the weekend. Many businesses across the city are already feeling the positive effects of her highly anticipated shows. With the expected crowds, restaurants have been gearing up. Many of them have Taylor-themed items on the menu for a limited time. So the Filson at the Banks is fully booked for Friday and Saturday. They have many Swift-themed items, including a lavender haze cocktail. Sounds good to me. And check this out. Greeters taking to Instagram last night to share their connection to Taylor. They say they had the honor of meeting Taylor when she performed at Riverbend. She even signed this picture for them, writing on the picture, "I heart Greeters, we seriously love y'all." If you are heading to one of the Taylor Swift concerts this weekend, we would love to see your pictures. You can chime them in on our website at Dayton247now.com or scan the QR code on your screen. We have a specific Taylor Swift bubble for just the occasion.
We have some breaking news just into our newsroom this morning. Right now, police looking for people accused of assaulting a man in Dayton. Now, here's a live look from the scene at this hour. It happened at the corner of Nichols Road and South Gettysburg Avenue. Now, police tell us the suspects robbed the man, then ran off on foot. Medics came in to help the victim with minor injuries. Of course, we will continue to bring you updates all morning long. To get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app in Google Play and Apple App Stores.
6:38 is our time right now. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Foster teens getting a chance to see the concert of the summer today in Hometown Heroes. Adam Arrow highlights the community stepping up to create a special moment.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Thunderstorms crept through parts of Maine Thursday evening. The slow-moving system dropped torrents of rain north of Portland. The town of Jay was slammed. Meteorologist Charlie Lopresti says radar estimates about 6 inches of rain fell there in only 3 hours, which led to closures due to washed-out streets and buckled roads.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio. Despite the fact that we have it's a relatively thin and it's starting to get eroded. And what I was going to say is we've had a pretty persistent cloudy start to your morning, but that is going away. And what we do expect for a lot of the day today is a mix of sun and clouds. You're probably going to see some, I don't want to say angry clouds per se, but some darker clouds. Realistically, today is going to be a day where we do have the instability built in, just nothing to really trigger those clouds from going from just a little bit darker to something that could produce a lot of storms. Now, there is a chance one or two could produce, let's say, a pop-up style shower or thunderstorm. That seems to be very unlikely. But tomorrow, with a couple of waves moving through the area, it is possible that not only do we see storms, but strong to severe storms. And that's, again, why we have issued the code red for tomorrow and not for today, better chances of storms.
Hi, Alex. The big Taylor Swift concerts this weekend in Cincinnati creating a fever pitch across the Miami Valley.
There's been many stories leading up to it. Adam Era shows us one that's full of hometown heroes.
So the Taylor Swift concert is all many are talking about this week. You might have heard she's playing 2 shows in Cincinnati beginning tonight, Friday. There's been many side stories leading up to it, but this one is one of my favorites because of the kindness involved. Hamilton County is sending 120 teens in foster care to the concerts, and that is not all. Amanda Carter in the county's public relations department had her friends help her make friendship bracelets for the teens. They shared the idea on social media. It went viral. People started sending bracelets and money to help from all across the country. Now they got 672 bracelets to fill gift bags. Carter says she used to be in foster care herself and hopes the gifts help make the teens' night a little extra special. Now those tickets were donated through Hamilton County's new Beyond Your Imagination program. For the efforts of Carter and the county, I think they are all hometown heroes.
If you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
And you can chime in your submission through our app. We see a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
A family-friendly event called Swiftinati begins this afternoon.
The party at the Banks will start before Taylor Swift takes the stage tonight. Annie Brown is there with a preview this morning. Annie.
Hey, good morning. You're finding me here downtown at the Banks in Cincinnati, right before Swiftinati is about to start. It begins at noon today. And what's more Taylor Swift than a party with friendship bracelets? I'm here with Swiftinati curator Annabelle Diltz. Annabelle, can we first talk about what is Swiftinati?
So Swiftinati is a 2-day party to celebrate Taylor coming to Cincinnati. There's going to be food trucks, charging stations, hair braiding, glitter makeup, friendship bracelet making stations, and it's catered towards people that are both going to the concert and non-ticket holders, so everyone is welcome.
That's the really cool thing too, is you don't have to have a ticket. You can just come to the Banks and still be part of the Taylor Swift mania happening. Isn't that right?
Yes, it's all free admission. And then we're also going to have the Swiftinati merch.
Love it. Isn't this cute? I absolutely love it.
So I'm in love.
Yeah, it looks exactly like the Eras Tour poster.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the friendship bracelet making stations? Because you've got some cool ones. Can we see the ones that you've already made here?
Of course. So I have, this one is Right Where You Left Me. And then this is just, I guess an acronym for one of her songs.
Yes.
All Too Well. Taylor's version From the Vault, Side Girl Autumn version recorded at Long Fong Studios, and then I just have I Heart Taylor, and then a song from Evermore, and then Augustine from the Folklore Love Triangle. So you can make your favorite song, your favorite album, or like I see people do like little cute inside jokes like with other Swifties and trade them off. The station's gonna have everything you need, all the string, all the beads, the letters, and so much more.
Awesome. Well, Annabelle, thank you. Now, Swiftinati is going to start, again, as I said, at noon today, goes till 7. It'll also be here tomorrow from noon to 7. Back to you.
Thank you, Annie. 6:47 is our time right now. Looking live at the TSA pre-check, a huge travel day as we prepare for a holiday weekend. In minutes, Nick will have your forecast leading up to July 4th.
You're watching Your Day.
This is a Your Day Code Red Weather Alert.
We do have the threat of damaging wind gusts as well as some hail and potentially even some intense downpours for Saturday. We are going to be looking at the chance of storms, not just maybe in the morning, but also towards the afternoon and evening. In terms of Sunday and beyond, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we are going to be potentially getting some storms, although for Tuesday, the 4th of July itself at this point does look like it may stay dry. Keep that in mind this morning, that this is a weekend you want to stay weather aware, especially for Saturday, due to the ongoing threat of strong to severe storms.
6:52 is our time right now. Dayton and Ohio State coming together on the hardwood for a great cause. At 7, Matt Digby highlights the special basketball game scheduled this fall.
Cincinnati is now Swiftinati. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is coming to the Queen City for the weekend.
This is the long line we saw yesterday as people waited for merch. Now, 2 fans even called out sick from work to get their hands on tour-only merchandise. Our sister station interviewed them.
Yeah, they wore blankets over their head to protect their identities because they called off work. And Taylor Swift's impact is being felt throughout Cincinnati, but she wasn't always performing in front of sold-out crowds. Now, like many artists, she made her start playing in small-town venues. Her first gig in the area was back in July of 2007. Then, the teenage star played at the Festival of the Bells in Hillsborough, opening for Emerson Drive back when Taylor Swift was still in her debut era.
Oh, they knew her.